Hello. And it's been a bit of a funny old week this week, folks, because yesterday I was having a lovely conversation with my cousin-in-law actually about his book and about what we were going to do to publish it. And in the middle of it, I wanted to check something on my computer, but my monitor wouldn't work. And if any of you have been following me recently, you'll know that I have been rather technically challenged in a number of directions. And I thought, oh no, this is just another thing. The monitor stopped working. But then when I actually got off the call, I realised that I had no electricity at all anywhere in the house. And in fact, it turned out that the whole town had no electricity. So that means no electricity, no internet. I didn't put my phone on charge the night before, so it didn't have a lot of charge, so it ran out of charge. So no phone, no internet. I couldn't boil a kettle. I couldn't make any tea, which for a Brit is pretty much a nightmare, and I was beginning to get a bit twitchy because I hadn't had a cup of tea for a few hours, and it went on and on. And I had to sort of find other things to do that it didn't involve electricity. But eventually it did come back on again. But by the time it did, sort of late afternoon, I'd had enough for the day, and I thought, you know what, rather than go back to my desk and gripe and moan about what I haven't been able to do, I thought I will stop for the day. I will do something nice for me. I will get myself back into the right mindset, and tomorrow I will hit the ground running and get everything done and get up to date. So that's what I did, and I thought, given that it's Wimbledon, I thought I haven't seen the tennis for ages, I will watch a bit of tennis. And how lucky I was, because, and that's why, if you see in the background here, I'm actually at my local tennis courts. Not that I play tennis, because I don't, but I really enjoyed watching the match between our guy, Tarvet, and the 2 times defending champion, I've got to try and get his name right now, Alcaraz. It was an amazing game, and the final score, because obviously the Brit lost, but the final score did not reflect the enjoyment and the sheer amazing shots that I saw. But what really impressed me was Tarvet's mindset, because he was so determined. But if you compare the two players, I mean, they're about the same age, but the Spaniard had been playing for a lot longer. He had 5 Grand Slams. He was the 2 times defending champion. He was used to grass. And you look at the other side, you look at our guy, the Brit. He'd not played on grass before. He was in college in San Diego, so he hadn't done a great deal of competing in that sense. I think he came into the tournament at something like 733 ranking, and he'd only ever played somebody of a ranking of, I think it was 367 or something. So the odds were completely against him. He wasn't used to grass. But the man that I was watching on the TV yesterday looked to an amateur like me who doesn't even play tennis, looked as if he'd been playing on grass all his career. He was sliding around, he was getting shots that were impossible. And right up to the last shot that he played, he was playing to win, although somewhere in his mind he must have realised that it would be a long shot. But it was so inspiring, because he gave it his all, and it must have been such an entertaining match, not just for me to watch and everybody else to watch, but for the players themselves, because he really gave it everything he'd got. And there was such a strong mindset there, and I thought that's going to hold him in good stead, because sometimes when we have to do things, we really have to dig deep, and having a really good mindset and feeling that we can actually win even when the odds are against us is pretty amazing. So I actually started today feeling really inspired by watching that match yesterday, and I'm glad I didn't go back to my desk and just fiddle about for a couple of hours before I gave up for the day. It really put me in the right frame of mind for a good day today, which is what I've had. So that's my little thought for today, and it's the end of this week, so I shall wish you a good weekend when it does come, and if you are watching Wimbledon, enjoy it. Okay, cheerio from my local tennis courts.